After the military victories, and after the pharaohs extended their authority over the east and the south, Egypt was not just a military power, it became a center of civilization and culture. In Thebes, the Karnak pillars rose like a stone forest defying time, and on the banks of the Nile they built the temples of Luxor and Abu Simbel, testaments to the greatness of the kings of the New Kingdom and to immortalize the names of Ramesses and Thutmose forever. But life was not all stones and temples. There was a vibrant human pulse. Literature flourished, and poetry appeared that glorified kings and gods, and heroic stories were told to soldiers and people, as if the Egyptians wanted to write an epic using the combined power of their swords and words. As for daily life, society itself changed. Wealth was no longer the preserve of the nobility and the palacemen. Instead, a middle class of scribes, merchants, and skilled craftsmen emerged. The markets were teeming with goods from Africa, Nubian gold, elephant ivory, and exotic animal hides. From Asia, they brought cedar wood, perfumes, and oils. At the heart of society, a new element emerged: soldiers. They were not merely tools of war, they became an influential class, receiving rewards and land upon their return from battle. The Egyptian soldier in the New Kingdom knew that his sword not only protected the borders, but also created his glory and social status. Thus, military power blended with artistic renaissance, temples with poems, and markets with soldiers, creating a complete image of the Egyptians as a civilization at the height of its power and maturity.
At the time, Egypt was becoming an empire. The world around it wasn't standing still. On the contrary, it was boiling. Mesopotamia. In the east, Babylon fell, and a new power began to emerge from Anatolia. The Hittites. A warrior people, they clashed with the Egyptian armies, becoming the first real rival to the Egyptian Empire. Greece. If we look west, toward the Aegean Sea, you'll find the Mycenaeans, the early beginnings of Greek civilization. A simple warrior society, but one that would later spawn legends like Troy and Achilles. India. As for the Far East, there the pages of the world's first religions began to be written. The Vedas, which would eventually become the foundation of Hinduism and change the culture of half the world. China. And in the Far East, China. The Shang dynasty emerged, the first advanced Chinese civilization. They crafted exquisite bronze, organized their armies, and wrote in the symbols that would later become Chinese calligraphy. Conclusion. The world was full of rises and falls. Civilizations were born, and civilizations collapsed. And Egypt was at the heart of the scene. Not just a country on the banks of the Nile, but a key player in a multi-power global system. A system that would witness the first major clashes between the empires of the ancient world.
From the defeat of the Hyksos until Egypt returned with strength, raised its head, and became an empire, the Egyptians wrote one of the greatest chapters in human history. But I wonder, is there anything that lasts forever? Just as there is rise, there is also fall. After the glory of Ramesses II, Egypt began to weaken little by little, until the doors opened to the west. And suddenly, Egypt, once the master of the world, lost its independence for the first time. Stay tuned for the next episode, The Age of Decline, from Ramesses
to the Persians and Greeks.